Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. My name is DZ, and this is the morning stream, not ATB, but it's still going to be the best lineup you've ever seen. Why? It's me and TJ, baby.
That's right.
All right. Ben is at, was it C12, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, it's his little monthly Christian CEO leadership meeting. He's meeting with some local leaders, and they're discussing how to make a better world, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, can you tell us any of the secrets that they've imparted onto you?
No, it's for us. It's a good place to draw on experience because it's basically a board of CEOs or business owners of seven-figure revenue stream companies. So these are people that have more experience probably with employees and legal stuff and a lot of the stuff we have to deal with on a daily basis. So it's just the
minutia, the
Sure.
nuts and bolts of things that people don't really think about on when you start scaling out to those 7-8 figures.
Culture,
it's a lot different.
That kind of stuff. You know, a lot of the, we just announced today we have a employee benevolence fund. They help us with like organizing that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. We learn.
Yeah. I was looking at my medical bills after I read that email. Just just throwing that out there. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'll never pay them off. All right, we're gonna get right into it. NFT. No, pay your bills, people. I'm not saying don't pay your bills.
No, that's a thing though. Medical bills. That's what you're talking about.
That is a thing, and they are high.
It's all a scam.
DZ did hurt his arm back in the day. I had a broken wing, but you know what? They took my broken wing. They let me fly, and then they said, "Hey, you owe us a very large number with the comma, but only 1 comma. It's not a 2 comma bill. It's just a 1 comma bill. Maybe we'll get there. Let's see. We're getting right into it. Hey, a lot of people talking about Jeb. It is tough to see Jeb go. He was one of our first just core guests who's here, I think, twice a week, knocked it out of the park just basically immediately. And but Tim Warren, he's doing a great job, and I think it's big shoes to fill, but I think Tim will do okay. So we're fans of Tim here. So recommend keep watching the channel. I think they're going to change the name from Crypto Jeb to whatever their branded company is. But yeah, shout out to Tim Warren. Shout out to Jeb. All right, we get into the YouTube here, NFT Alpha. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are sub to it. We just passed 20,000. Hey, we just got a little Algorand video. Yeah, we talk more than just Cardano, and we kind of go over our use case of why Algorand might be poised to pop. And if you like NFTs, check these out. We go to the Twitter here, 35.5K. I just went up from 0.4 followers there, followed by the real Corey, Larry Gurr. 90 others we follow. Look at that. A little synergy there between me and Ben's follows there.
The real Corey, is that this Corey here? Corey Harden? Or is that Corey J. Harden on Twitter?
I thought it was Corey from Boy Meets World. Oh, man. You know what? Topanga's a better follow anyways.
There you go.
My likes. I always got some good likes. This, I almost want to just read it off because I think it's just good advice, and it's kind of, I shouldn't. But we're just going to leave it there. It doesn't say what it's referencing to, but you know what it's referencing. If we go to the website here, bitboycrypto.com, you can check out the merch, and you can check out our partner channels, BitBoy Espanol, BitBoy Bits, Frankie Candles, Hit Network, Meta Money, and of course, NFT Alpha. And maybe all these brands will have some merch eventually. We were just kind of floating some ideas. Frankie, obviously, is going to sell candles. NFT Alpha, maybe we'll sell like little frames or NFT stuff on your T-shirts, coffee mugs. Meta Money, we were joking, what can Meta Money sell? We're thinking maybe some sweaty Oculuses. Shoes. Brian wore these shoes when he was making Steppin'.
They got those jerseys that everybody likes.
Jerseys, actually, that's people love those jerseys. They can't get enough of those jerseys. I think Whitney had a big hand in making those jerseys come to fruition. Shout out to Jay Chain's wife. She, they do a little stuff in house, and we do the same. So speaking of in-house merch,
hey, look at that. Pluto is a planet.
Little Pluto alliance in the house here. All right, we move on to Coin Market Cap, and look at this. I wanted to share this. We're just going to go out the gates talk about this dominance. Ethereum above 20% and Bitcoin below 40. What are your thoughts on that right there? I mean, this is a huge occasion. We've been talking about this is going to happen eventually, going to happen. We finally saw it.
Yeah.
Now, we have speculated that maybe Ethereum will pass Bitcoin. This is pretty momentous because now we have Bitcoin below 40, ETH above 20. It has passed more than half its market cap before, but that was during that kind of that cyclical where you see Bitcoin up, Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum goes up, Ethereum goes down, meme coins go up. It did it during that moment. So it's interesting to see it happen during the bear market.
Yeah, it's wild. It's different. If you've been in bear markets before, you typically see Bitcoin go up above 50% dominance. People were calling for 55, even 60% Bitcoin dominance on this cycle. So to see Ethereum ticking up when traditionally it's ticking down, it's definitely very different. Merge obviously being a big part of that, and the kind of momentous occasion that it is. That's what makes it so interesting to me to see what happens after the merge. Does this trend continue, or do we get back closer to a typical bear market after that?
Yeah, and or maybe that boring sideways kind of goes up. You get those 100% pumps, still get those 60% drawdowns. Just that boring period during that bear market. Maybe it will be that. It is going to be interesting to see because I think COVID really kind of screwed up our cycle last time. We were kind of me and TJ had talked about that last time I hosted. It just bounced around that 7 to 10 range, but then COVID nuked it down to the high threes. What would that have bull run in that later half of 2020 look like without that turbo nuke? So maybe we'll get a fair shake, but macroeconomic, there could be some major black swan events happening this time, and maybe we won't get to see it then. Hey, that's why we say keep a little dry powder on the sidelines. Speaking of dry powder, let's look at these prices. We have Bitcoin below 24K, down slightly on that 24-hour. You see it, down about 1.25%. Ethereum still down about 1%, but also below 19, right there at it though, 1885. Tether USDC. If you watched ATB last night, you can see you don't see anything changing with the price, obviously, but there's big moves with these market caps. And make sure you watch last night's episode if you haven't. BNB, basically everything down slightly except XRP. Bucking the trend, up about 0.5%, 37 cents, much, much lower than the XRP Army wants it to be. Hit that like button if you're in the Army. We have Solana down about 2%, 43 bucks. Polkadot, Doge, Sheeb. But look at this Cardano gap just growing and growing, 18 billion. But now we have another battle for that next spot. Pretty far away from number 5 at 50 billion, but this number 6 spot seems to be the new battle for number 7. Doge. Nice pump yesterday. If you're in those meme coins, you're up 10%. Sheeb did have some massive gains earlier, finally paring back, but the weekly tells the story here. We have Doge up 10% yesterday, 22% on the week. Sheeb flat, but up 32% on the week. So I know those people are quite happy. Avalanche, I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about Matic, down slightly. Tron is up. I was looking at it at a nickel and saying, you know what? It probably is a good buy at a nickel. Of course, I didn't make any moves, but now you see it at 7 cents, up 40% from 5 cents. Uniswap, a lot of FUD happening towards Uniswap, but I think, it's just a little overbought, maybe slowing down a little bit. ETH Classic also slowing down. You see it up 13% on the weekend or on the weekly there. Doge, Filecoin. Where's Brian at? Look at that. Number 69, stepping GMT. Am I about to go walk this afternoon, TJ?
Maybe.
If it's more than $2 for 20 minutes, maybe I will walk. Right, let's look at some of the top losers here. What do we have? Celsius down 20% on the daily there. Obviously, we're going to cover the Celsius news. But first thoughts, what do you think of that?
I'm not surprised because it's been getting pumped up lately. We were talking about it yesterday.
32% on the weekly there. So, yeah.
It feels very inorganic, the type of volume you're seeing there. So I'm not surprised to see wild swings.
That is a good way to put it. It's a little inorganic. All right. I know we're going to get into Frankie. Frankie is going to decipher this. What are we looking at here? I'm seeing all types of colors. I'm seeing all types of bands. I'm seeing some lines. I can't tell if this is a puddle of water with a drop of oil in it. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Frankie, can you and your calves help decipher this wonderful chart?
Yeah, and also, real quick, you mentioned Brian. Want to give him a quick shout out. Crushed it up in North Carolina. I think he came in 7th in a WSOP tournament. Serious cash. Congratulations to him. I know it's a 3-day tournament, so it's nice to see that pay off.
Yeah, shout out to Brian. That's
Yeah.
exciting. I remember when Brian told me that he was used to be a professional poker player. I was like, really? I thought he was joking at first, and he said he almost won a bracelet, and I was like, no way. And it's like, I don't know. He was just like, it's not that big of a deal. Almost got a World Series poker bracelet. But anyway, guys, we do have some really, really good stuff to look at on the charts. I like DZ's comparison of this chart to with water with a drop of oil in it. But I am actually going to that is Lux Algo. If you guys want to sign up for Lux Algo, you can go ahead and use our link down below. I think you save about 20%. They have a bunch of different options for you guys to sign up. They have monthly, yearly, and lifetime subscriptions. But for now, I'm just going to turn it off. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here, guys, as we are rejecting off of this very important level. As you guys know, that golden box was the level that we needed to get past to get this big explosive move up to about 28 to 30K. We've been talking about it for a while. And I know the big question is everybody thinks we're coming down for another giant leg down to make a lower low. And I don't know if I'm just... I don't know if I'm ready to throw in the towel here just yet. I do think there is still a potential possibility for us to get this move up, but we got to come down a little bit first. So some bearish things popping up right now is we are now currently printing this red dot on the daily chart. Typically, these do bring us down quite a bit. As you can see, almost every single one of these drawbacks have been off of a red dot on Market Cipher B. So that's just something to look at on. And we've also come up to major resistance, right? So we were talking about this in my Discord, as we come up to this major resistance, with our 16 and 12 hour bearish divergences, it would be likely for a pullback. And that's what we are seeing right now. Now, something I do want to point out here on the DXY, you guys remember we looked at this yesterday. This is the US dollar index. And you can see here, this is the 16 hour, but if we come to a lower time frame here, we were looking at this and I was saying, if we can continue to fall out of this channel, it would be, it would be bullish for Bitcoin, but we are now breaking back into this channel. If we find support here and start working our way up, we could see this, this correction turn into, I wouldn't say like, it's not going to turn into a dump to zero, or in my opinion, right now, I'm not ready to call for a lower leg down. But if we break back in here, find support on the bottom of this channel and come higher, it would be bearish for Bitcoin. And I think we could see a decent pullback. So I just wanted to touch on that because we were talking about this yesterday and we are back in that channel now. So looking for this to potentially get a higher move up, in which case would be very bearish for Bitcoin. Now, there are some other things kind of coming up here that would lead to a bearish narrative here. As far as the charts go, at least on the SPY, you can see, let me go ahead and turn on, let me just refresh here to make sure all my drawings are correct. But on the SPY, as well as a lot of these altcoins, before I get out of here, I'm going to give you guys a couple freebies here. Some altcoins looking pretty good. Look like they could have some pretty good short opportunities coming up. But okay, it's not pulling up my moving average. Let me just do that real quick right here. Pull up our regular moving average. Click on this, turn it to the 200. On the SPY, we are approaching the 200-day moving average. So would be expected to see a decent bit of resistance here. This is the US dollar index still. Bada boom, bada bing. So yeah, as you guys can see, we are coming up to this gold box of resistance with the confluence of that 200-day moving average swooping down to kind of just bonk us back down. So this I would expect a potential pullback here on the SPY as well as you approach that 200-day moving average. So this is just the other things, right? DXY back into that rising channel. Pretty bearish for Bitcoin as long as we hold support inside of that channel. SPY approaching that 200-day moving average. Also likely that we see some form of a pullback here on the DXY at some point soon. We have the daily red dot on Bitcoin, also bearish, right? With charts and trading, guys, it's all about gathering evidence on the chart and weighing the probability in your favor, right? There's no yes or no answer. You can't be 100% certain in either direction. So you just like to gather this evidence and, just use it to put the probability in your favor. So I am feeling a little bit more bearish. I do think we could come down closer to about 22K if we see this continued downward action. And before I jump off, I just want to pull this up for you guys, give you a little bit of a freebie here. I mean, it's free on my channel too, but I'll just give it to you guys here. If you come over to Matic, Matic is currently rejecting off of that 200-day moving average. And like I said, building that evidence, right, to fill your bias. So you are coming up and rejecting off of this 200-day moving average, which is pretty bearish. You are also now printing. I was calling this last night on my stream, and I actually think the day before on my in my Discord. Red dot is currently printing here on the daily, giving us a pretty severe bearish divergence here on the daily chart, which would turn out to be a very bearish sign. Might be, there is a lot of confluence here, so it might be a good potential short coming up here on Matic. Not a trade call. You should not copycat trade anybody. It's not financial advice. I'm just saying Matic is looking pretty bearish as it has pretty much gone up super, super aggressively. So
Do you have any open trades right now?
I got stopped out of my scalp long. Actually, yesterday when we were on the stream, I was mentioning looking to get into a scalp long off of that 1 hour bullish divergence. I got in, I got stopped out at a small $20 loss, so it's really not a big deal. But yeah, I did get stopped out actually just before I got on the stream here. But I am watching Matic very closely. And also, shout out to the Discord once again. If you guys are not in the Frankie Candles Discord, GMT, we were talking about GMT last night too. It was one of our coins that were primed to move. I gave a list of coins that altcoins that looked like they were ready to move, and GMT was on there. So good to see a little action on GMT as well. But yeah, looking at Matic very closely, and a lot of these other altcoins, guys. I'll be putting some more stuff in my Discord, and I'll be talking about it on my stream later. A lot of these altcoins are looking like some pretty good shorts. So if you're interested in keeping up with that and my trades, definitely come check me over at Frankie Candles on YouTube. And that's all I got.
All right.
Back to
Great.
DZ.
All right.
Bang to the bomb.
All right. Yeah. Like he said, never copy trade. That being said, I'm 100% going to copy trade that Matic short. That being said, I'm obviously I'm going to look at it, make my own levels. Also, now I did not talk to Frank previously, but yeah, I got stopped out of a long yesterday, a little scalp long, scalped out. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to set my own levels. You know, draw my own little lines, drop my own piece of drop of oil in my bucket of water. Someone in the chat said it looks like an NFT. Maybe we could do something there with Frank and some charts, you know, little chart. I don't know. We've been floating NFTs for Frank. Maybe candles with faces on it. Maybe wax drawings. But I like the idea of some funky looking charts. Maybe with some Frank calls on there, we could do some cool stuff. But all right, let's get into the stories here. And before we do, though, I can't get into the stories unless you hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. It costs you nothing. Maybe you got to move your wrist a little bit. You got to press on your finger. That's all. That's all we're asking. Maybe a little double tap with your thumb. Go ahead, do that. Do that right now. Okay, I'm watching them. Watch them. They're going up. They're going up. Okay, now we can get in the stories here. Wait. Nope. Some people stopped after I said that. Hit it again. Hit it. Yeah. You haven't done it yet. Now you're going to. Thank you very much.
And now
All
we're
right,
going to do
Bitcoin on-chain analysis. But first, we got some Tik Talks. Actually, maybe low-key, one of my favorite segments on the show.
There you go.
After Frank, of course.
We got a couple. We'll do them real quick.
All right.
Things rich people won't tell you. So I will. 1,
You won't get rich on salary alone.
2,
Inflation
True.
steals your wealth, so invest.
True.
3,
This is a big one. Buy assets, not liabilities.
4,
Never spend more than you make.
5,
This is really important. Pay yourself first, always.
6.
Compounding interest is the ultimate key.
Things
Yeah, all great advice. You know, I think Naval Ravikant said it best. You'll never get rich renting out your time, and a salary is essentially renting out your time. Even doctors and lawyers, you might look at them and say, you know, that's a nice house, that's a nice car, but then you look at how much debt they're in, and maybe they don't look so rich after you start really parsing the numbers. So I would agree with that sentiment. And a lot of times what happens is you'll get lifestyle creep. You know, you're a lawyer, you're a junior associate, then you're an associate, then you're a junior partner, then you're partner, then you got your own law firm. What's happening that whole time? You're escalating your lifestyle. Like she said, make more than what you spend. Just called your burn rate. You got to keep that burn rate low, but you'll never, no lies ever told in, no lies told in that TikTok, but sometimes, you know, there's some lies. All right, what's the next one here? Yeah, great advice though.
This is some bad news for crypto folks. Every single US crypto exchange, including Binance, is being investigated by the SEC. And this was said by Senator Loomis. So clearly the SEC is trying to attack the root of the problem here. The problem is that most of these cryptos are securities. So their strategy here is to make all of the crypto exchanges register as securities exchanges. And then if all of the tokens want to stay on the exchanges, they must register as securities. This is how they're going to force our hand. Now, I don't actually know if this is good or bad. I think it will wipe out a bunch of tokens, but ultimately this could be the thing that happens to bring an insane amount of billions and trillions of dollars into this market, because it will be regulated after that happens, and some of the big money will feel comfortable going in.
Yeah, regulation, definitely a double-edged sword. Like he said, it will be the catalyst that gets a lot of money in it, but geez, that music had me feeling very bad and depressed. I was looking for a necktie and a ceiling fan. I didn't know what to expect when that music started playing, but yeah, he's certainly right. And if they do want to control crypto, oh, you know, it's all private, it's code, it's in the cloud. It'll be to regulate the fiat on ramps and off ramps, and they do that. They can 100% put a large stranglehold on crypto. It's going to be a lot harder to get someone to get a company. You know, Dallas Mavericks, you could buy tickets with Doge. It's going to be a lot harder to get them to buy Doge when, you know, you can't sell your Doge for money. And you know what? They would end that program immediately. So I know someone will sell me something for some Doge. Good luck with that when you can't cash it out. So yeah, just be very careful. Good advice there, but the scary music had me a little frightened.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crypto Mason, make sure you follow him. Cool guy. Really, really good content. All right, let's talk a little Bitcoin. Maybe you've heard of it. Oh, man, I want to get your opinion on this, too. Bitcoin on-chain analysis, lifespan. Oh, wait, no, it's the next story. This one's good, too. Lifespan indicator suggests reversal is coming. Those who don't know, lifespan indicator, think of the length of time we're talking about here. This is an on-chain indicator that shows if the market is in a state of profit or loss. Reading above 1 is the black line, shows that the market's in aggregate profit, while those below 1 show aggregate loss. Currently, there's the SOPR made an attempt breaking out above the 1 line on the 5th. While that attempt was unsuccessful, the indicator's gearing up for another potential breakout. So here, Bitcoin parabolic run. Hey, we're all in profit, all our coins. And if you want to look at it this way, you know, at all-time high, literally 100% of people are in profit. So there is a period where literally everybody's in profit. Right now, we almost got into profit again, you know, above half at least, but maybe we'll see. Now, the R HODL ratio is an indicator that is created by the ratio between the 1 week and the 1 to 2 year HODL wave bands. Reading above 50,000, and this is highlighted in red, indicate that the significant percentage of the Bitcoin supply is in the hands of the short-term holders here. And here we just have a nice little channel forming. Looks like it went a little bit below, but, you know, maybe it's going to bounce right back above. All right, moving on here. We have the biggest ETH whale, makes nearly $1 billion in less than a month as ETH cracks $2,000. This is the richest wallet on the ETH network, increasing value by almost $1 billion over the past month on the back of strong ETH rallies. Whale Stats also reports that overall, most of the 100 wealthiest wallets are behaving conservatively. Looking at the top 10 purchased tokens over the past 24 hours, Wrap, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, followed by 4 stable coins. So they are not YOLOing in yet. The big whales, they're not, you know, going all in on SHIB. Every now and then you might have some outlier, you know, this large Ethereum whale by SHIB. But when you see here, if you look at the aggregate of all the whales, they're playing it conservative. They're kind of doing what we say. Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoin percentage. These are the bear market coins. Now, you will miss out on pumps. Now, we look at the recent low for Bitcoin, 17K. What's about 50% of that? It's 8,500. Well, 17 plus 8,500 puts you right about 25.5. Now, Bitcoin almost had a 50% rally. What did Ethereum just have? A 100% rally, above 100% rally. But when things tank, Bitcoin won't fall as far as Ethereum. So you just got to be conservative. There's times to be conservative. There's times to be greedy. Now is not the time for greed. And when you're feeling maximum greed, that's when you need to be most conservative. Maybe make some sales. Justin Williams says it best. Do the opposite of what your brain tells you.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds crazy. No, there's no way that's a formula for success. That is a formula for success. Do the opposite of what your brain is telling you, because there's a good chance you're thinking consensusly. Like everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people are agreeing with you, and the market likes to do the opposite of what everyone thinks.
Absolutely.
All right. Bitcoin miners sold 60% less Bitcoin in July as crypto market volatility subsides. After a difficult period that slashed the prices of many of its digital assets, the crypto market seems to be slowly regaining its strength, easing up the selling pressure from the public Bitcoin miners as the price of the maiden token nears the $25,000 mark. In May, Bitcoin miners shocked the community by selling off more than 100% of their production. In June, now a lot of people maybe at home are going to read this, sold more than 100% of their production. Now, how does that make sense? That means in May, let's just say you mined 100 coins. Well, you have some coins in reserve. You mined. You had a stack of 200. Maybe you sold another 100. So you sold more than what you made. Why? Because you had an accumulated pile. This is why Ben is always saying why the 4-year cycle is king. 4-year cycle is king. These Bitcoin miners, they have the power when it comes to the market. Sure, some whale can come in. Sure, Disney buys Matic and ETH and Matic pump. You got these strong L1 news or, little Bitcoin news, El Salvador, woo, we all start celebrating. But it's the miners really have the power. And when we say, one of the key indicators of a bear market is good news won't move the price.
Yep.
The miners are the ones moving the price.
That's so true.
So,
And that's an easy way to know we're still in a bear market right now. If that Coinbase BlackRock news came out during a bull run, it would have had an immediate impact on price, even though the technicals wouldn't have had an effect immediately. Where right now we see a little 2%, 5% rally, and then right back where we were a couple days later. And that's a great, whereas bad news still drags us down.
yeah, and not only that, we have huge news that we're going to cover. You're going to want to stay tuned. Hit that like button right now so we can get this out, because we're going to cover some big news with Google, where if this was the bull market, this would be spreading far and wide. This is the article you would show your uncle at Thanksgiving, but it's a bear market. So you know what? You see it, you just scroll right past it, and you're like, yeah, but my bag isn't pumping. All right, let's talk now. This was the one I was wanting to get your opinion on. Bitcoin now has over 1 billion unique addresses, leaving Ethereum, sorry, Tom Crown, I know you're watching, I see you in the chat, and Litecoin in the dust. The latest crypto market crash left Bitcoin in shambles, dropping from its November all-time high of, 69,000 to its 2-year low of just 18,000. Bitcoin dragged the rest of the market with it deep into the red. ETH, the second largest crypto by market cap and network size, is lagging far behind. Bitcoin has more than 1 billion. ETH just has 158 million unique addresses participating in an ETH transaction. ETH has yet to experience the growth rate seen on the Bitcoin network. We don't have it highlighted, but because Tom's watching, we'll even say Litecoin. And this is, I remember talking with Tom when Litecoin had more than Ethereum. Litecoin only has 148 million unique addresses compared to ETH's 158 and Bitcoin's 1 billion here. Now, Bitcoin has 1 billion wallets. TJ, what is the number of human beings do you think that equates to?
You mean,
so there's a
there's
billion,
a billion
Bitcoin
wallets.
Obviously, it's not 1 billion people with one
Sure.
wallet each. So what's the real number of human beings here?
That's a great question. I mean, I think it's at least 500 million. I think it's probably higher than we think.
So you say roughly, we're almost about to pass the 8 billion mark. So you say 1 out of 16 people, roughly 6%.
Approximately. I'd be interested to see some of these numbers. It's probably on the high side, if I had to guess. But I imagine the reason we're seeing an explosive growth in Bitcoin addresses has a lot to do with apps like Strike and the Lightning Network finally propagating out there and getting some actual use on it for people to do small transactions. And they've got a lot of infrastructure, a lot of developers working on that sort of stuff and trying to simplify the process, creating, sending, receiving wallets or Bitcoin over self-custodial wallets on Bitcoin. Ethereum, we've seen a much heavier investment, DeFi, degen kind of play. And we know, you've got people with 10 Ethereum addresses and things like that. So I think it's just a function of time. I think we'll see Ethereum catch up to Bitcoin over time, maybe.
It's a good point with the function of time. You think 8 years ago, hit that like button. If you know someone that lost Bitcoin back in the day, lost the keys to that wallet, to that address. I know some buddies that lost multiple Bitcoin wallets. So yeah, think of, 2 years ago, it was a really high number. Imagine what the number is today of lost wallets. Hundreds of millions is the number I would imagine here. So the amount of active Ethereum wallets, 158 million. I would say there's more lost Bitcoin wallets than there are active Ethereum wallets. But to TJ's point, it's just a testament to the time, the amount of time.
The billion is a total. It's not active.
Yeah, so they were very careful with their language here. It has unique addresses, and then they said active Ethereum addresses, but they didn't say active Bitcoin addresses. They said unique addresses. So this could be just someone kind of being a little bit funny with the language there. You know, like, look, Bitcoin has a billion unique addresses. Ethereum only has 158 active addresses. It's like, well, wait, you just kind of had two qualifier words there, two different things.
I think bottom line, though, it shows Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, you can tell by just looking at the market cap, but they're very far ahead of everything else, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. You know, just full disclosure, type in the chat, what coin do you have the most wallets in? For me, I think I have the most amount of Nami wallets. When Nami first launched, you could only have so many NFTs per wallet. I was a complete degen, maxed it out like my third day, and then I end up with 5 Nami wallets. I think I have like 5 Nami or 5 Cardano, no, 6 Cardano, 3 Ethereum, maybe 4 Ethereum. All right, let's move on here. Let's talk to the feds here. Federal Reserve issues final guidelines for crypto companies looking to open master accounts. This is good. This is the key phrasing here. The final guidelines for crypto companies. Brian Armstrong, somewhere he is just like breathing a sigh of relief. The bank said that many institutions offering new products and novel charters have asked for the so-called master accounts, and as such, it released this guideline on the 15th. They're going to use this guideline to evaluate requests for master accounts. Meanwhile, the Fed Reserve has been mulling over a CBDC, which Brainard believes can coexist with stablecoins. The Fed published a CBDC report in January 22, asking for more dialogue on the subject. We've covered this before. Look, they understand the dollar. They don't understand Ethereum that well. They don't understand XRP that well. They don't understand Bitcoin that well, but they understand a dollar. A dollar equals a dollar. You know, Tether says they have a dollar. We give them a dollar. They give me a magic internet dollar. They can wrap their head around that. When you start talking about an immutable ledger, you know, decentralization, it's the math meme. You know, they start seeing the, Pythagorean theorems everywhere, and they just, they just kind of lose sight of what you're talking about the second sentence in. And, this is going to take 16 sentences. So they understand a dollar, though. So that's, I agree with Ben. The first legislation we see will be stable coin. Do you have any insight on that? Like some of the, I don't want to say the secrets he could share from California, but maybe some of the things we can expect in the short term?
I mean, pure speculation, things we can expect, something I've been talking about since 2019, I think. Ever since I found out about Circle being owned by Goldman Sachs and issuing USDC, that's when I started the theory that, that was going to be the next digital dollar. So I think we're going to see more policing, just like that TikTok was talking about, policing the on-ramps and off-ramps of exchanges. I think we've seen the stablecoin wars going on for about the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It was all Tether. Then it slowly became Tether and USDC and Gemini dollar and all these different things fighting. Yeah. And USDC ended up winning in a lot of ways. And now we're seeing the dark side of that with blacklisting address and that sort of stuff. So I think we're going to see the governmental reach continue to get stronger and stronger. And it will, I think, polarize the industry a little bit. So we'll see.
Chat, you guys are hilarious. Remy, I think it was, Circle is a bunch of jerks. So, and I see what you did there. There's another one, Bitcoin is garbage. Word of the day, Pythagorean. Apparently they think I look at a calendar. I do. Bitcoin has no use case. That is just an opinion of someone with a life of privilege. If you had to flee an authoritarian regime, and back in the day, excuse the colorful imagery I'm going to paint here, but back in the day, people literally had to smuggle diamonds in their sphincter. Okay. And we can kind of, it's kind of funny. He said sphincter, but no, this is a real thing. You had to flee with your wealth. They were going to strip search you. And if you didn't have, I could represent a bunch of wealth with something small, put it in the prison pocket. That allowed them to, basically save their family, save their home, build again, start over. Bitcoin allows that. You can have all your wealth memorized in your brain. And that's why Bitcoin does have a use case. There maybe in America, our use case isn't equal to someone in Venezuela. But Bitcoin 1000% has a use case.
It was amazing to me when I got early into crypto and I talked to a lot of different people about Bitcoin, how quick people from other countries just got it.
Yeah.
Immediately understood. They're like, oh, yeah, I've been sending money home to my family here, there. I use Western Mutual. I take, I get beat up on 15, 20% fees. Like, this is amazing. People in the United States don't have that same experience generally. So.
Yeah. Chocolate diamonds. You guys are funny. Apparently, you've never heard of prison pocket. I thought that was a common thing. All right, let's talk about, speaking of Brazil, another country where, it would have a little bit more of a use case than America. NASDAQ listed Brazilian financial services firm launching the Bitcoin and ETH trading. This happened yesterday. The financial services giant XP, it's good if they got a 2-letter thing on NASDAQ, announced that it had opened its crypto trading platform XTAGE to clients. This is big news. Brazil has a decent-sized economy. Well, yesterday, 3 people from XP were at NASDAQ's opening bell ceremony, and according to a report by NASDAQ, the platform is available to all customers with the digital account on the XP app for trading to cryptocurrencies. Look, more institutional money rolling in. This is Brazil, but I think Brazil, far and away, has the largest GDP in South America. I think maybe
You're right.
Colombia's,
Nope.
not even close, but...
Yeah. This is
maybe more than the rest combined, correct?
Yeah, this is huge news. It's something I've been watching for. We've heard whispers of Brazil getting involved for a little while
Yeah,
now.
had that bank. They started being a little more friendly.
I've just pulled it up. According to this article I'm looking at, they're 9th in overall GDP at 1.8, almost 1.9 trillion. So really outside of the majors, US, China, Japan, Germany, UK, France, ones that could make a big impact on crypto. India, we've talked about a lot of people there, 7th. Italy, a lot less as far as technical implementation, in my opinion, but Brazil right there behind it. So I think this is a big story to keep our eyes on. We'll see how it develops. If they start getting heavy to Ethereum, it could really push the price up.
Yeah, and India is going to be a bigger role in the future. They just released some population numbers, and maybe it was 2020 or 2032. India is going to pass China as number 1 in population. That is nuts. Now, everyone's like, oh, well, Elon said we're shrinking. What is it? Is the population growing? Are we shrinking? We are growing, but then they projected, I think it was around 2050. That's when we start shrinking. Obviously that's going to change with life expectancy data. If it goes up, it'll happen later. If it goes down, like in America, it's declining. It'll happen sooner.
Yeah, if they get their way, it'll just start declining a lot faster.
Yeah, because who wants to have kids when you yourself are eating crickets? I don't want to feed my kids cricket milk, But a good metric is when adult diapers exceeds baby diapers in a population. That's when you're on a decline. It's already happened in Japan. I think it's been happening for around a decade. So it's been happening for a long time in Japan. They kind of led the way with the population decreasing. I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't want to try to guess. The eye contact. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's going to be bad when there's more adults need their butt wiped than babies. There's a lot of issues with healthcare, a lot of issues with infrastructure, there's a lot of issues with retirement and Social Security. It is going to be a major issue. But I'll see the argument against it, and they're like, that's just what capitalists want. Well, when there's more adult diapers at the Walmart than baby diapers, there's going to be a lot of issues, and you're going to say, you know what, maybe the capitalists had something right. No one's here to wipe my butt. All right, let's move on here. We're getting we're getting down to the toilet here.
Yeah.
All right, let's wipe on to the next story here. CoinCenter may challenge U.S. Treasury's sanctions on Tornado Cash in court by treating autonomous code as a person. OFAC exceeds its statutory authority, says CoinCenter's Jerry Brito and Peter Van Valkenburg. That sounds like every villain from a college movie. That's the jerk at the frat, right? Peter Van, my father founded this college. All right. United States-based crypto policy advocacy group CoinCenter said it intended to pursue administrative relief for individuals affected by Tornado Cash sanctions imposed by the Treasury Department's OFAC or the Office of Foreign Asset Control. This is what we're going to need. We're going to need more people taken to the courts fighting for these people. According to the pair, CoinCenter will be the first to engage with OFAC to discuss the situation in addition to briefing members of Congress. In June, they took the U.S. Treasury to federal court. Heroes, in my book, alleging the government department provisioned an unconstitutional amendment in the infrastructure bill signed into law by Joe Biden in November. The group claimed that a provision in the law was aimed at gathering info about individuals engaged in crypto transactions. This is how we stop it. We got to take them to the courts. They fight dirty. We got to fight dirty. There's the whole they go low, we go high. Well, that doesn't really work unless you're gonna, go higher with the amount of money you're bribing them with. So this is I think it's a great thing. I like the old school ACLU where you would have Jewish lawyers defending Nazis for their right to protest. Why? Obviously, those people are disgusting, but First Amendment does matter. Free speech does matter. And I miss the old school ACLU, not the new school ACLU. They don't really stand for what I stand for. And it's sad, I feel like a man without a party where people don't care about free speech anymore. Neither side cares. I would say one side cares more than the other. And one side definitely is more about censorship than the other. But whatever happened to free speech being a fundamental right? I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me old school that way. All right. Speaking of old school, let's talk a little Tether here. USDT market cap up by $2 billion. And this was, we kind of covered this on ATB last night. Following the Tornado Cash debacle, the market cap of Tether increased by nearly $2 billion since the U.S. imposed sanctions on cryptocurrency mixer Tornado Cash. Essentially, most people are saying it's because of the USDC-USDT battle. CTO, Chief Technical Officer of Tether, probably not an unbiased opinion here, but and crypto exchange Bitfinex also teased the flipping of the two coins on Twitter. Both have the ability to freeze funds through Ethereum smart contract functionality, yet the former was the only issuer to announce asset freezes on the blacklisted addresses. Both Circle and Tether have also assuaged the wider crypto community that both stable platforms would support Ethereum's upcoming merge to its proof-of-stake beacon chain, which is touted to take place in about a month. There's a lot of people, a lot of industry leaders were floating the idea that, maybe Circle is freezing assets a little too willy-nilly. And I'm not saying, people, those wallets associated with Tornado Cash weren't bad actors. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm not trying to defend the actions of those people. But, I will say this. I was, getting more and more into the USDC camp. I've long been a champion of USDT. It's just traded on more pairs. It's just easier to interact with, say, on like a KuCoin or something, or even a Binance. You just trade more. But now, then I started feeling, you know what? It's a little bit of a pain in the butt when you fiat out on Coinbase. They're taxing you, but they'll just give you USDC. $1 equals $1. With Tether, they're trying to make it like 99 point something. So, I started liking Circle a little bit more. I like USDC a little bit more. Now, they're pushing me back into the Tether camp. So it is going to be interesting to see. I think it's two companies doing two different things with two end goals. One wants to be a little more decentralized. I think one is maybe seeing a possible path to a CBDC or maybe some sort of partnership with whatever ends up being the CBDC. Circle would love for USDC to be used for oil transactions, weapons transactions, state-to-state transactions. All right, shout out to DZ Wheezy, best NFT news and jokes. Raps in the game. Stanford Mine. Your mine is fine. Thank you very much, man. I want the little one little limerick out there for him.
Yeah. And real quick on that flipping or the kind of USDC versus USDT battle, a lot of that is tied up in MakerDAO.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they hold tons of both, actually billions of dollars of USDC, and now seeing them be blacklisted on a snap of a finger by the government realizes like, oh, that make their stablecoin die under serious, I guess attack, not an attack yet, but there's a very obvious attack path to crash the entire DAO. So if they were to come out and say, oh, DAOs are no longer allowed in the US, Circle just, boom, removes, blacklists all that USDC, then they're scrambling to keep their peg. We could have another terror situation. So at first they floated moving over to Ethereum. USDC comes out and says, yeah, we could blacklist you, but look at our track record or reputation. So it's all dicey because you're still trusting them not to do it. And you're still, I don't know. It's getting rough.
Speaking of getting rough, the basement stayed rough. Just a joke. It's, you know what? The kids wouldn't get it. But it's a little beyond the Pixar style joke. Riddle did say this. What do you expect Circle to do? Of course, it's only 75K. Well, Tether didn't.
Right.
But I think Tether knows that they don't really have any path forward to like work with the regulators hand in hand. Circle does. Circle, where they do something about standing around a cookie. What are you guys talking about? And then we have Bill Gates drinks cricket milk would be a cool T-shirt. I 100% agree. Take it, run with it. You show me a link one day, I'll probably buy one. Yeah. And then someone else said roach milk coming in 23.
Oh boy.
Don't give the World Economic Forum more ideas. They don't need it. All right, let's talk about Alphabet here. This is the story I was referencing when, if this was the right time of year, if this was like November or actually maybe April 21 was a little more bullish. Alphabet is the world's top blockchain-friendly investor, pumping $1.5 billion into the sector. Hey, DZ.ETH, send some my way. Indeed, Alphabet invested 1.5 in blockchain companies between, this is a pretty short period too, between September and June 22, with 4 rounds, taking the lead among publicly listed firms investing in the sector. Publicly listed firms investing. Research public by Block Data on the 11th indicates. Here you can see the list. So we have Alphabet at 1.5 billion. We have BlackRock not that far behind at a roughly 1.2 billion. Morgan Stanley 1.1 billion, and Samsung roughly 1 billion. Goldman Sachs 700 million. A couple more around that 700. PayPal up there. Microsoft. Now let's go to Alphabet. This is Google, of course. Fireblocks, Dapper Labs, Voltage, and our buddies Digital Currency Group. You can see what BlackRock invested in: Circle, FTX, Anchorage Digital. That makes me more bullish on FTT right there. Samsung, they got a scattergun approach there.
And all I was going to say is this is also BlackRock getting in again because the top holder of Alphabet is BlackRock and Vanguard. So
it's a big circle.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
A bunch
It's
of
literally a giant circle, whatever.
Yeah. They're all everyone's left hand is in their buddy's right pocket, and vice versa for the right.
Because do the same thing for Samsung, Vanguard. There it is. Do the same thing.
Yuga
Morgan
Labs,
Stanley, Vanguard, BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, Vanguard, BlackRrock.
Yep.
So just go down the whole Microsoft, PayPal, BNY Mellon,
PCG.
Like they're all over it. It's
Yeah,
the same,
and, there's
when we joke about the same 2 guys running all the scams in DeFi, that's literally what BlackRock is doing right now. They're just going to own it all. And that's why somebody asked in the chat earlier why we say BlackRock is bad for crypto. That's why. It's not bad for our portfolios. It's not bad for our money. It's bad for the world.
Yeah, and think of BlackRock, buying up all that real estate. If you bought a house 3 years ago, kind of good for you, right? Like, yeah, they inflated my housing market. Now, because of Larry Fink, my house is worth an additional $40,000. Let's just say we can quantify it. Is that good in the short run? Yeah, sure. Is it good for the world? I would definitely argue no. And for those on the fence, more housing is just good. I don't know what is up with all these people fighting housing. We have colleges like saying, no, you can't build, multi-family units on our, only millionaires. It's just so ridiculous. Build houses, people. Open up all the legislation, all those regulations. I was looking at some data from Houston. Houston has no zoning. And so, like, if you have 50 acres, you could just, like, put some residential stuff. You could put some commercial stuff. And they have some of the cheapest housing of all the major cities. Wonder why.
They're trying really hard to push that whole you'll own nothing and be happy. So there's this new company. I can't find the name of it. I shared it the other day. Basically, a new startup. I think it's based out of Miami, where they're trying to create a national brand of a home experience where you're renting and you can get it anywhere in the country, and they're going to blow up and buy all these real estate and apartments and create an experience that's gets people very, very comfortable and happy renting.
Yeah, someone asked, did I get any of that tornado ETH they sent to the semi-famous people even? No, they didn't. Thanks. The guy was like, yeah, they even sent it to, like, nobodies. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I was not even a nobody. One day I'll be a nobody. BlackRock, Crooked Milk, Illuminati coin to the moon. Yeah. Someone might make that. Be careful out there. All right. Interestingly, they reported crypto companies raised over $29 billion, figured $2 billion less than the total value of the $31 billion recorded across all of 21. That is looking pretty good because the total of a bullish year was $31 billion. About halfway through a very bearish year, we're at $29 billion. That just kind of goes to what we say, do what the whales are doing. And right now the market's down, the market's boring. and we're about 7 months in, and they've almost already reached what they did in 21. And there's a lot of money, just floating around. Houston also prone to big flooding. Facts, 100% there. Be careful out there. That is the downside of, there's no zoning. Concrete everywhere, no grass, no dirt. There's nothing to absorb the water. It just kind of sits in parking lots and sloshes to the next spot. All right, speaking of sloshing around, we have Galaxy Digital and BitGo. BitGo to sue Galaxy Digital for over $100 million over dropped acquisition. Either Galaxy owes BitGo $100 million termination fee as promised, or it's been acting in bad faith and faces damages of that much or more, said Brian Timmons. Digital asset custodian BitGo said it planned to seek more than $100 million in damages from Galaxy, alleging the investment firm owed us funds as part of the reverse break fee in its decision to terminate an acquisition agreement. I believe this is the same fee being applied to Elon, where if he doesn't buy Twitter, he has to pay $1 billion, I think it's a reverse break fee there. So seeing a similar thing, you can't just say, hey, yeah, we're going to buy you. Now let's go ahead, start the dancing process, handshaking process. You wait 6 months and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. It's like, well, no, we kind of operated under this was happening. So there's got to be a penalty for that. And that's what you're seeing with the $100 million there. It's unclear if the recent market downturn was a factor in the deal potentially falling through. Galaxy said it originally planned to pay roughly $1.2 billion in stock and cash. BitGo said on Monday it had more than $64 billion in assets in custody at the end of 21, and client growth continues into 22. So they don't want, there's also math being involved here, and I think we're seeing that with Elon and Twitter. Take $1 billion fine, where you're like, well, dang, this whole asset I was going to buy is reduced so much. I can either not buy it and I pay $1 billion fine, or I go through and buy this depreciated asset and I'm going to lose $10 billion. Well, $1 billion seems less than $10 billion, so I think I'd rather lose 1 versus 10. Hey, what do you know about the NFT Coinbase giveaways on Polygon blockchain? Be leery of any just free Polygon NFTs. They typically just are worth $5-10. We went to the Weekend concert. Thank you, Hit Network and TJ, of course. And they had it was the Binance ad. Who was the celebrity up on that Binance ad? They're giving away a free NFT.
I don't know. I was trying to track those NFTs down. I forgot.
Yeah, maybe it might have actually been the Weekend. Like the Weekend's own. So the Weekend is a Binance advocate or ambassador or whatever they call it. And they had this looping video playing, once every 15 minutes, where it's like, show your scan this QR code and you get a free Binance Weekend NFT, and it's on Polygon it was on Binance Smart Chain for $2. To me, I see something like that, I'm not risking security on my phone for $2.
Yeah,
$2 NFT.
I tend to agree. I'm pretty much the same with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, my McAllister's sandwich app, I'd be using that thing.
But shout out to Binance for making that kind of stuff happen. Obviously, you guys want a Binance.com account. There is a $600 sign-up bonus if you use that link. We'll drop it in the description. And then Binance US, obviously, $10. So
yeah.
Hey,
good
pays
stuff.
to live not in the US.
Yeah. So it's different. It's different leadership, different everything. Okay, sure, the logo looks the same and the name's the same, and it's different. Okay, it's different. All right, let's talk about that failed stablecoin. Is it back? Acala stablecoin edges back to the dollar peg after they burnt that 1.29 billion aUSD. That was I believe the same exact number that was erroneously minted. Erroneous, now a word for the day. Polkadot-based DeFi platform Acala's native stablecoin aUSD is edging back to its dollar peg following the community's vote to destroy billions and billions worth. It has since pumped 10,000% over the past 24 hours and is now trading at 92 cents. The proposal sought to burn those tokens held by the 16 wallet addresses involved in the newly launched IBTC aUSD liquidity smart contract exploit. Roughly 95% of the voters unanimously accepted the proposal, and a meager 5% opposed it. I want to keep it like ETH Classic. That is funny that people voted against that. Now, we say centralization's bad, but with DeFi, I don't mind a little bit of centralization. When I read good stories like this, I don't think it's great that they can just vote and freeze accounts. Now, if they just do that willy-nilly and they're just doing it left and right, like, hey, you did a bad tweet about Orange Man or Brandon, now you're frozen. Yeah, that's obviously, it could be a slippery slope. But when people are stealing over $1 billion and we say, hey, we're going to freeze it, and so we don't just like nuke our whole company, essentially, protocol, whatever you want to call it. Jeez, I can't read. How do I read that? So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. It's a double-edged sword. I think it's a good thing in particular cases. I mean, we saw it with Ethereum. The beginning of Bitcoin, that was very centralized. Of course, you're going to say it had to be. There's 5 people involved. How could it not be? But yeah, I think it's good in particular circumstances. And with decentralized finance, I know it has the name DeFi. Oh, how could it be centralized? No DeFi protocols 100% decentralized. None. Someone has to run a website. Who's buying the website? Who's paying the bills here? There's always going to be a little bit of centralization. I think it's degrees, and you gotta just know what your tolerance is and what you stand for.
Yeah, I agree. And I would say, too, just a warning for everybody. We've covered the story a few times. We covered it Friday when they first announced, and then we covered the crash yesterday. It is recovering, which is encouraging to hear. Obviously, they burned all those tokens. If you're not very experienced in crypto, I would say be very careful with DeFi on Polkadot. There's a lot of opportunities there right now. There's a lot of interesting things, but it's very much like what we saw with Ethereum early DeFi in 2020. A lot of opportunity, a lot of new protocols, new things being tested, and that's what we need to push this space forward. We need to move fast and break things because that's how we learn, but you don't want to be caught holding the bag when things break.
Bitcoin has no centralization. Many people would argue their mining is way too centralized.
And a lot of people would argue
Satoshi's vision,
the development, Blockstream, some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's plenty of arguments to go back and forth. And I think
it's not black and white terms. It is centralized or it is not. It is there's always some points, even Bitcoin, there's some points of centralization. It is gray though. It is not it's subtle. Everything's subtle. So you just got to kind of think
and that's, I think,
box almost.
Vitalik said it best when he was saying, if there's debates going on by highly intelligent people on both sides of the argument, there's clearly some nuance in what's going on here. It's not just a point and click kind of answer. So.
That guy is so smart, man. All right, XRP, little story, XRP Army, where are you at? Classified as digital currency by Goldman Sachs, one of those leaders in the people investing in Bitcoin. Wells Fargo and HSBC, this is from the latest report, recently scored another minor victory as Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn granted the request to serve non-party subpoenas to video hosting platforms to authenticate some videos of top officials from the SEC giving speeches. I think this is great. Let's use their own words against them. I never agreed that, oh, you shouldn't be able to use Hinman's speech or other people's speeches. No, if they said it, it should be able to be used as admissible evidence. In an op-ed, Ripple General Counsel Stuart Alderodi circled back to Sherman's off-base remarks during an oversight hearing, during which he referred to XRP as a security, saying this highlights the pernicious effect of regulation by enforcement. So good stuff. But do we have any Q&A? I did want to do this quick hit, though.
Yeah, go ahead. I got 2, but if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat now. We'll try to grab them.
All right. Court filings reveal Celsius will run out of money by October. How did they figure this out? They've been heading down a slippery slope. We covered, we looked at Celsius in the top of the show where that coin had just fallen around 20% on the 24-hour. Filed on Sunday to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, it highlighted they expect to reach negative liquidity by October of this year to approximately $34 million. Recent documents revealed they operate one of the largest mining enterprises in the U.S. and prior to filing for bankruptcy, had expansion plans to mine Bitcoin by acquiring and making operational additional mining rigs. This is where they got the data from. You can see like the cash they had on hand, and then you can see their total operating disbursements. Basically, here's the money we got. Here's how much we're burning. Uh-oh, it shrunk. It's September. Uh-oh, it's October. It's gone. Uh-oh, we're in the negative. And so they're looking at their burn rate. They're seeing how much money they have. By burn rate, I mean by how much they're burning every day. And they're going to run out of money. This is not a good thing. Now, is Sam Bankman going to show up and maybe help out? Is Mashinsky gonna say, here's some secret, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Now, are they gonna operate with debt? Who's gonna loan them money? I wouldn't. They owe me money.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting October for Celsius. Because if you're working someplace and all of a sudden your paycheck bounces, I don't know if you're showing up next week.
All right. So some Q&A. This was from earlier in the show. You mentioned Nami wallet. Does Nami have a 24 passphrase recovery?
Yeah, I actually just did one imported. Yeah, it'll give you import. It'll give you the choice of 15 word, 24 word. So yeah, this should be in the intro, the beginning parts of making your wallet. Maybe go ahead and click import. And
From
then it
Grant,
should have it
our
drop down.
number one question asker. DZ, do you have any updates on the Pluto Alliance cruise? When do you think it'll be? If I'm not burning a V2 and own a V1, can I buy?
We will have a portal. If you stay active in the Discord, we're going to give the Pluto Discord, like the verified aliens are going to be some of the first people to get the link. And so what we're going to do is we have a set aside of rooms. Like, hey, we got over 100 here. We're going to give away to the NFT holders a certain number, I think roughly 20%. I don't know. I'm just making up numbers here. Then we're going to open up the remaining to verified holders. Then we're going to open it up to just the regular BitSquad members. So, yeah, get your alien verified. I don't know maybe you'll get like a 24-hour window of like you guys get the link first. Maybe the link will get shared, and that's okay too. We don't want to worry. We don't want to police people too bad. So stay active in the Discord. You'll see what's happening, and it's going to be the cruise to end all cruises. And that reminds me, I got to get my passport. I think there's one island. If I want to get off the boat, I need a passport. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Hey, we get to hang out. We get to have a Mai Tai or something, or a pina colada at the pool. Maybe we'll play some shuffleboard. Maybe I'll dress as, I was going to say an alien. I was going to say a certain type of alien. Let's just say it's the Paradise, a little inside joke for the alien crew there.
All right. I think that's all we have time for.
Should we give a quick shout out to Sin City Crypto? Y'all want to come up here? Yeah, they came in the studio fresh from the desert. They were very thirsty. Sin, feel free. Take us out of the episode here, man.
Yeah, wrap us up. I'll pull the music. The basement.
I look like a baby next to you. I'm tiny.
Yeah. All right. What's something hot from Vegas to be keeping a lookout for?
Well,
for
you know
everybody
what?
in the chat?
Yeah, right now it's actually not too hot. We've been raining for three weeks, but nah, man, you know what? We came here blown away. Amazing studio, amazing staff. Everybody's super ton of hospitality. So just amazing to be here. And
yeah. Well, thanks for
Squad,
coming.
You guys are lucky. This production, the amount of money and time that goes into this is absolutely phenomenal. So these guys are great. Thank you so much for having us.
And,
Awesome.
It ain't Sin City Crypto without the Don in here.
Let's go.
I'm the Don. Thank you. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and we'll be back soon.
All right. Well, thanks for hosting us, guys.